Hello there, I'm Ollie Brooks, broadcasting live for University Radio Bath here, and I am joined by the wonderful Dan Carpenter. We are interviewing you for your Activities Officer election campaign. How are you, sir?
I'm having a really nice time.
Good. How are you feeling about the campaign? Excited? A little bit scared? Or?
Very excited. Got a good theme lined up for everyone.
Good.
Should be a fun ride.
Can you reveal the theme for us, or is it top secret?
I don't know when this is being broadcast, and I'm not revealing the theme right now.
Very sensible man, very sensible man. So, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your main attributes for your campaign? What you think are your selling points?
So, I'm a maths and physics student in my final year, and my main extracurricular activities so far have been music related. So I've done Bosoms, a lot of chaos as well. I've also done some of the theatre side as well, like Bust. So I guess that's sort of my main kind of passion,
yes,
if you will. I was on committee for Bosoms last year, and I've also directed with them a few times. And that's taught me a lot about putting on successful events and things, and making a really big event, making a big impact. And of course, Bosoms won Best Art Society last year at the Activities Awards.
Good plug. Good plug.
Not that I mention that very often. And I guess with my campaign, the main sort of thing I want to do is I really like to see societies working together, and to make sure that everyone can feel really proud about what their fellow students have been getting up to as well.
Yes, definitely. So that's quite a big part of your campaign as well, isn't it? Is joining societies and sports.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you a question based on that, actually. If societies and sport went on a date, where do you think they would go?
That's a very good question. I guess initially I might say, Lime Tree.
Yeah.
Pretty good place, quite close to the edge. A lot of societies are based there.
Nice.
You're not too far from the STV either. Then I think maybe, STV Cafe, if we get right on in there.
If it's going well.
All the societies can mingle over in the sport. And it's such a lovely place as well. It's probably one of the only eating establishments on campus where you got this really terrific view.
Yes.
Like I saw Modern Pentathlon this summer. It was
no way.
Really striking. They had all these like tents and stuff outside, like marquees outside the sports cafe, right in the view of all the action. It was really a spectacle.
And for free as well. Perfect,
yeah, of course.
Perfect. And obviously, if you do get the role of Activities Officer, you will be taking over from Wadzi. She's done a really good job, but what one thing do you think she's done that perhaps you could build on and improve? If at all, if there is anything.
Yeah, so I had a nice meeting with her earlier to sort of discuss, because I'm not really on any committees, so I don't have much formal interaction with her sort of in the day-to-day. So I guess sometimes it's kind of difficult to see what kind of an impact she's making.
Yes.
I think in a way, sort of the best thing you can do with this role, it's a Futurama quote, but I hold it very close to my heart. When you do things right, people won't be sure that you've done anything at all. And I think the Activities Officer can be like that. If you notice them, then there's kind of something wrong. Yeah, it's not about them. It's about they are kind of the overseer, the puppet master.
Okay.
To make everything work
looks like
fluidly
they're doing work
and fantastically. But yeah, she was talking to me about this sports and society's integration, and how some sports event featured more arts performances, and things like cheer always on the rise. That's a really good sort of middle ground. And I guess it's sort of getting more societies to do cheer.
I really like that,
which kind of links up with my idea of getting more people in societies to kind of try out other societies with this sort of joint society events.
It's quite often the way that sports students stick to their sports and don't really jump across. If you can join it, I like that a lot. A lot. And you mentioned a Futurama quote. Obviously, in your manifesto, you have a quote from the great Shia LaBeouf himself.
I do.
What was it that made you pick that quote?
Well, that quote in particular, I suppose, is very close to me and my campaign manager as well, who's really been saving me a lot over the past week. She's a really, really terrific girl. Kimberly Pickett-McAtackney.
Kimberly.
Yeah. And I think it sort of started when we went to Centre Parks this summer with a big group of friends for our birthday. It was just didn't want to let our dreams be dreams.
No.
So we just did it.
And do you reckon you could do your best Shia LaBeouf impression for us?
You know what? I reckon I might just be able to do that. So I guess the key point really behind the whole thing is that I want you to just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams.
That is perfect. I thought Shai was in the room for a moment.
I'll start growing the beard out, actually.
You should. I think that would help your campaign a lot if you could get the Shai going. Maybe even get him in to help your campaign.
Yeah. Oh.
That'd be worth it. On a slightly more serious note, in your manifesto you talk a lot about making improvements to JobLink. What sort of things are you thinking of doing for that?
Yeah, so having worked with JobLink in the past and using the online system, I noticed that I was wasting a lot of my time because I didn't really see, you know, they list out the important details at the start, like when the application deadline is.
Okay.
But they don't have the start date on there in kind of a nice unified format. So I think that's one little change that I think, and I think, you know, it's a good system and it works quite well. But there's a few little things like that that could go
just
in,
start ironing out
just to improve it. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. And obviously you've directed with bosoms before. How do you find it directing bosoms? Because I myself find it quite hard to control bosoms. But are you a good director, would you say?
Well, I think I try to have a lot of fun with it as well, and I think I like to
have a
see
lot of fun with bosoms.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. You know, when Bosoms and Bust work together on a show, they form the totally integrated theatre society.
That is the dream, Bosoms and Bust, and then you have Buns as well.
Yeah, Buns and Baps, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, and every year at the Bosoms summer meal, we have series of awards, the most coveted of which is the best Bosoms in Bosoms.
Do you know who the winner of that was? Can you reveal any names or?
Well, I know in my first year it was the lovely Elizabeth Perura, who is producing our next show.
Oh, no way.
And yes, I've got a good feeling about who might be winning it this year.
Do you?
Yes.
Can't reveal any names, of course. And finally, I would just like to ask, obviously you are talking about wanting to throw yourself into the role as activities officer. Are you thinking that's going to hurt much? Are you going to be okay? Should we call Nightline for you, or are you fairly confident you can tough it out?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty certain I can brace myself for the fall. Been working on my combat roles.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. Well prepared for your elections campaign.
Indeed, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Dan, and I'm sure
Cheers.
we'll hear a lot more of you over the next week during your campaign. I've been Ollie Brooks, reporting for University Radio Bath.